very good friend of mine, incredible producer, extended an invitation for me to perform in Shenzhen in China, which is in the south, very close to actually Hong Kong. That was the first time I went to China. And she created this beautiful concert at the Shenzhen Symphony Hall, which is one of the most beautiful halls I've ever played and I've ever been in my life. And then we had an orchestra which were more or less 200 musicians, so it's huge. And then the impressions of China were just incredible. It was a life-changing experience for me. I love the culture, I love the people. I already knew I was going to love the food, but I reconfirmed it, and then going around and then being able, so it made me come back, and eventually I came back to Shanghai and Beijing and other places where I had always beautiful musical experiences. And the more I learn about Chinese culture, the more I realize how much there is still to learn. The first time I went to China, I discovered this infinite world of possibilities. So the first thing that affected me is the fact that I know that I want to go back and that I have to keep on learning and doing research there. And something that I loved was the fact that I grew up thinking that China is on the other side of the world. You know, it's this distant universe that it's so different, that they speak a different language, that they eat different food, that even when you have the moon, they have the sun. You know, it's just completely dramatically distant. But then, the more I've been there and the more I've been exchanging musical and artistic moments with them, I have realized how close we are, how similar. We might not speak the same language, we might not have the same time, but when it comes to the feelings, when it comes to things, when the way they make their soup, you know, the way they make the congee soup. It reminded me of the recipe of my grandmother when she used to do this rice that they call chupe, which is like, it's very similar. They grab the scallions, they cut them in small pieces, they grab a little bit of garlic, then they grab the fish. And I was like, how? This is a native Colombian recipe. How come, you know, let's say 1,000 years ago, did they send them the recipe by alien email? I don't know. How is that possible, right? So that example of the food is, I have been feeling it in the music as well. When you are able to leave the Western modern world a little bit aside and you connect with the ancestry. So that is one of the things that have changed my life completely. To understand that something that you think is so distant, at the end of the day can be so close. China, it's been for thousands of years creating things, just exploding art and culture and the culinary world, and it's just fascinating. So I was like, wow, that is extremely attractive, especially when you want to like really know and learn about the world, and if you want to follow, be coherent with the philosophy of exploring the past and what's ancient in humanity. Then of course China is one of the references of the world, you know, like it's where things, with some of the things that we apply today were actually originated and created. So China I've always been fascinated with the culture, and then when I started studying a little bit of the music, it's just incredible. The instruments, the Chinese opera, the theater, it is beautiful. When I was finally able to go, I was just realizing a dream, and it's a country that I would love to come back over and over and absorb, to learn and grow what they have to offer, and at the same time bring what is it that we think we could, you know, show and share with them, like all the Latin American mysteries of the Amazon rainforest, tango music, you know, the flamenco, Spanish culture, so Brazilian samba, like that exchange of cultural exchange must keep on happening. So I will always go back.